Do these look like carrots that didn't get colored? Well, they kind of are. They're related to the carrot, and they're called parsnips because they're also related to parsley. Now, this is one of the oldest vegetables around, and it used to be that they were the potato for our starches in our meals until the potato was introduced to the United States. So, let's take the parsnip and I'm going to cut them in half for you and show you how to prepare them. So we have two different sizes here. Now if you're picking them from a bin, this is the better one. The smaller the better. No more than 10 inches, maybe about 5 inches long, but you see how much smaller this head is than that head. And that's because in the middle there's got to become a woody core. The bigger it gets, the core in the middle becomes thicker. So I'm going to show you the difference between the two inside. And that's the important part. So we're going to take this one and split it down the middle. And you'll see, just like a carrot, that there is down the middle, there's the root that comes from the stalk that was at the top. Now this one's not very bad, but let me show you the difference. I'm sure this one will be thicker because the head is thicker. And that's and I want to show this to you so that you don't go, well, I'll just get that one, that's all they've got. Because the thicker it is, the harder it is. It becomes like wood. They call it woody for a very good reason. And look how wide this one is. It goes from here to here. It's taking up 1/3 of the carrot space here in a slice. So you're supposed to remove this because on either side it's not bad. So if you ended up with one that's like that, just cut down the side of the woody pith. And you do that all the way around and you don't have to worry about cutting it out. So that's the reason why you want to buy the one that's smaller. The smaller, the better when it comes to parsnips. Okay, now on the other side I want to show you the difference between carrots and parsnips is that parsnips must be peeled. They definitely have a skin, whereas on carrots it's kind of not solid. And so when you do it, if you go down, look how beautifully white that is. I actually like to do it the other way. It's easier to hold. So I do it up. And you want to take that off. And you don't really want to see any of the brownness. I always say it's, it's like a white parsnip that got a suntan. And then you cut off the ends. I better finish getting this off. At the bottom end, you don't have to worry about the core like you do at the top. So we're just taking off all the brown. And you could have done this first, it would have been easier. Now, what do you do with it now? You've got it all cleaned up. It's all pretty. The core in this one is not thick. So you can eat this raw. You can eat this like a carrot. Now, it's an acquired taste. Some people don't like parsnips, but you can also slice it up thinly and put it in salads. You can eat this raw. And that's about as thin as I would make them for the salad. You could also grate it if you wanted to. I don't like graters. I think they're kind of dangerous, so I usually do slicing. But most people will not like it raw. It has a different kind of taste. It doesn't taste like anything else. It has kind of a tangy taste to it. The texture is almost like a carrot, but not quite as solid. So most people cook it. So what are the easy ways to cook it? Well, the very easy way is to slice it up and saute it and put it in butter. So that's what we're going to do with my little pieces I made. And the smaller it is, the thinner it is, the better when you're sauteing it. And then you can add things to it. And you can put it in stir fry. And we'll let that cook there for a second. But to me, the best thing to do with the parsnips is to steam them. It's real easy, it's real fast, and I usually put something else with them. I find it's much more palatable for most people if it's mixed together. In fact, my children didn't know they ate parsnips for a long time because they thought they were having mashed potatoes. So, I want to show you, I've had this pot on, and I've been steaming the parsnips with potatoes. Great combination. They're the same color. And once the stuff is all steamed and tender, you can mix it in a bowl and then you can start mashing it. And it doesn't take very long if you've cooked it well. The other vegetable that you could add to that and steam it is carrots. Makes a lovely color. You could also just chop that up and eat it. Parsnips are one of those vegetables I really want to urge everyone to buy. So let me show you how you can usually get them. You usually get them in a plastic bag, and they're full of parsnips, and they're usually by the pound, the 1 pound bags. You can also buy them separated like I did with these few over here. And you want to look for ones that are kind of even in color. You see how there's pretty even in color? But do you see how this one has black spots on it? I went ahead and purchased it because it was only at the top. There wasn't a lot of black spots on the rest of the parsnip. Now this one in this bag, I was really disappointed when I opened it up. Look how big that is. Now, would I have chosen this if it had been out so I could see it? No, I wouldn't have. That's one of the dangers of buying things in plastic. You don't know what it's really going to be like inside. So if you bring them home, whether they've been bought in a plastic bag or whether you've purchased them separately in the bin at the produce section, bring them home, wrap each one in a paper towel, and then stick it into a plastic bag. So if I buy it in a plastic bag, I do that to each one and just stick it back in. Keeps them from getting slimy. And then I don't close the plastic bag all the way. I kind of keep it open so the air goes through. And they'll keep a good 2-3 weeks, which was one of the reasons why they're so popular. They're one of the oldest vegetables, and they keep well, very well. And it's that skin that's on it, I think, that does that so well. And then you keep them in the refrigerator for about 10, 15, 20 days. The thing is, you can't forget about them. You got to go check it. But one of the fastest things to do is to bring it home and mash it up and put the mashed parsnips mixed with vegetables or not with vegetables together, and you can freeze them. And that way you can just bring it out and thaw it. So go to my website and find out more interesting things about parsnips. They're very nutritious and they're very delicious.